Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Tally Talks Bible. This is going to be part 2 of Genesis 4 through 10. My last video, I covered Genesis 4 through 8. I'm going to finish this up with doing 9 and 10. Before I really get started, I want to say I have a correction that I would like to make. In Genesis chapter 6, it's talking about the humans will have 120 years. Their days will be 120 years. I had said in my previous video that that was talking about the age limit of humankind. That wasn't necessarily true. I've done some further research. That basically was saying there's 120 years before the flood. Is what a lot of people believe, and what I've looked up and researched. That seems to be the actual case in the interpretation, that it was 120 years before the flood. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue on and pick up where I left off. I will pause and say what's on my mind and other things that I believe are true. So where we last left off was in Genesis 8. And that was talking about how God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark. And he sent wind over the earth, and the waters receded. So that's the first line of Genesis 8. So basically what's going on is now all the water is starting to recede after the flood. So now we're going to get with chapter 9, and this is going to be God's covenant with Noah. This is one of the first mentions of a covenant in the Bible. It says, start with chapter 9. Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the earth. The fear and dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth, and on all the birds in the sky, on every creature that moves along the ground, and all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands. Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. So now, right here, it's mentioning animals as a food source. See, before, during creation and everything else, he told Adam and Eve that I give you all the plants, all the fruit-bearing trees and the seeds. Meaning, at the start, our diet was mainly supposed to be vegetarian. But now here, after the flood, and he's done decreated, if you will, it was a decreation with the flood, and is recreating with Noah. So now here it's mentioning that even the animals are now a food source. But there's some stipulations to that. It says, but you must not eat meat that has its lifeblood still in it. Which is just meaning don't just kill it and eat it with the blood still inside. And for your lifeblood, I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal and from each human being too. I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed. For in the image of God has God made mankind. So with that right there, it's basically saying if you decide to kill another human being, that your sentence would be death as well. If you shed blood, your blood shall be shed. Going to continue on with verse 7. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number. Multiply on the earth and increase upon it. Going back to increasing and multiplying, because like I said, this is like a recreation. So he's having Noah's sons and their wives to repopulate the new earth. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living creature on earth. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. Notice here he's making a covenant saying that he will not destroy the earth again by the flood waters. That's not to say we see floods and they are very destructive, but we don't see floods on the scale of where it completely wipes out, the entirety of the planet. So right here, he's making a promise. That's what a covenant is. It's an agreement between two people saying that he will not again flood the earth, and he's going to give a sign for that. And God said, "This is a sign of my covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on earth." So God said to Noah, "This is a sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on earth." And notice here too, it's a continuing thing. It's not just saying it's with Noah, it's with every living thing on earth, even the animals. Continuing on with chapter 9, verse 18, talking about the sons of Noah. The sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. These were the three sons of Noah, and from them came the people who were scattered over the whole earth. So now it's talking about they're starting to repopulate and branch out and have children. Noah, a man of the soil, proceeded to plant a vineyard. Here we go again. The start of Genesis, where were they? A man of the soil, Adam, was brought up from the soil. They were in a garden in Eden. So Noah is kind of making like a mini Eden, if you will, by planting this vineyard. But if you know what's grown in a vineyard is grapes, what do grapes, when fermented, become? When he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and laid uncovered inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders. Then they walked in backwards and covered their father's naked body. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. Now, that was a big thing, to not see your parents naked. It was shameful, very shameful. So that's why the first son that came in, it was kind of shameful that he'd seen his father. And this is also something that Noah was chosen by God for the purpose of starting over fresh, being a new Adam, if you will. Now here he has made a mistake, a sin, if you will, by drinking the wine, getting drunk, laying out naked. We'll continue on here. When Noah awoke from his wine and found out what his youngest son had done to him, he said, "Cursed be Canaan, the lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers." He also said, Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's territory. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. Noah lived a total of 950 years. So once we get to this point, he doesn't really state it, but previously it says back here, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. With his anger when he's waking up, it means it's insinuating something happened. And that's why Noah is furious with, it says, cursed be Canaan. So it's insinuating that something may have happened in his sleep when he was naked, and maybe the other brothers told their father when he woke what had happened. Now, this next part is a table of nations. This is going to be just talking about the family of Noah's sons. And it's kind of boring, but it's not that long. I'm going to read this one. There's some stuff that's going to come along later where it's a list of just names and names and names. Again, it's important, but it's not something that I really just want to sit here and read out loud to everybody. It's something that I feel like it's easier for everybody to just go on their own time, on their own terms, and look these names up. I mean, I've got books in the house that just lay everything out for you. This is the account of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, who themselves had sons after the flood. The Japhethites, the son of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. Another thing, too, these names are really hard to say. The sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, Togarmah. The sons of Javan, Lesha, Tarshish, the Kittites, and the Rodanites. From these, the maritime people spread out into their territories by their clans, with their nations, each with their own language. Notice here it says each with their own language. See, it's going to be known here later on that that all these people in the world will have one language. The Hamites, the sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. Now this is going to come up. You heard Egypt in there, right? And Canaan, we know later on that these are going to become territories and cities and things of that nature. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabata, Ramah, Sabeteka. The sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush was the father of Nimrod. I'm going to do an interesting fact on Nimrod here before long. Who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The first sinners of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Kala, and Resen, which is between Nineveh and Kala, which is the great city. Egypt was the father of the Udites, Anamites, Levites, Naphtalites, Pathurites, Cashelites, from whom the Philistines came, and the Kephrathites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Abradites, Semarites, and Hamathrites. Later, the Canaanite clans scattered, and the borders of Canaan reached from Sidon toward Gerar and as far as Gaza, and then toward Sodom, Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham by their clan and languages in their territories and nations. So basically all this is doing is saying, hey, this is going to help you make sense of other things that come after this. Of like, hey, this is where all these people are coming from. It's just the genealogy from the sons of Noah and how it all spread out. Now, with all this being said, from Genesis 10 to 11, this means a lot of time has passed for all these people to have spread. Continuing on, the Semites, sons were born to Shem, whose older brother was Japheth. Shem was the ancestor of all the sons of Eber. The sons of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Ephrax, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram, is Uz, Hul, Gether, and Meshech. Ephrax was the father of Shelah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. 2 sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because in his time the earth was divided. His brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the father of Almadad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth. You can see these names are crazy. Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Diklah, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. The region where they lived stretched from Mesha towards Sephar, in the eastern hill country. These are the sons of Shem by their clans and languages in their territories and nations. These were all the clans of Noah's sons, according to their lines of descendants, within their nations. From these the nations spread out over the earth after the flood. So this is just setting up, so when you're continuing to read, you know where all these people came from. And like I said, this is years and years of genealogy here. And I'm going to stop right there. Genesis 11, I want to do a separate video on it, just by itself. That one might just be a shorter video. It may not be like a longer one like this. But I just want to take time and kind of dive into some things. Genesis 11 it's one of my favorite parts in the Bible, in Genesis. And like I said earlier, I made that correction about Genesis 6, about it's believed that it was 120 years until the flood was to come. Now, if I've made a mistake, I'm sure I made several mistakes in there trying to pronounce all those names. But with that being said, if I made a mistake, I'm going to own up to it. If I come up into new information and something that I've said changes, I want to bring that up. If somebody calls me out and they say, hey, I think this was something that was said that I don't quite agree with, if you bring evidence and, show me like, hey, this is what I think, and I can research it and look it up, and I can agree with you, or I may not agree with you. I'm not here to really, really debate anybody. I mean, if you want to talk about something, we can talk, cordially about it. If you're going to come in here, which most people I've had have been great with comments. I've had people reach out to me for prayers and tell me thank you, keep up the good work. But there's also a downside of that, because there are people out there that, see channels like this and all they want to do is spread hate or doubt. It's a double-edged sword when you do things like this. It's with anything you put up online. You're going to have people that support you, and you're going to have people that just want to tear you down. But for those who have continued to support me, I cannot thank you enough. I didn't know where all this was going to go. I feel like my page is still growing. I'm on multi-platforms now. And I just want to thank everybody that's continuing to support me. And I hope for the continued growth. And I hope to make many, many more videos. And thank you for your time. And as always, God bless.